What's up, broskies? My name's elementface, and I'm bringing you a Doom 3 Let's Play. I haven't gone through it in a while. This is a post-commentary. I haven't done one in a while, but this video I'm going to talk about something a little heavy. You know, I think I'm at the point in my, YouTube, I guess, career, you could call it, where, I'm moving on from just purely entertainment to, kind of having a bond with my broskies. And so, I want to take this video to kind of, I don't know, explain the most traumatizing moment of my life, or one of. I don't know if I can call it the most, but definitely up there. So, of course, this is a really heavy thing. If you don't want to hear it, and you can watch another video. But, I think... Well, let me start from the beginning. Last summer, summer of 2011, my dad, who lives in another state because he's there for a job. My parents aren't divorced or anything, but he's in another state. He was going to visit us for 4th of July. And we live outside city limits, so we have this, nice little property, but we live, half of our property has a 10-degree incline to it, so we usually don't mow the lawn on that part. Well, one day out of the summer, before the 4th of July, we needed to cut the grass so that we could do stuff with that part of the yard. And I cut about, I don't know, maybe a quarter of it, and my mom was going to give me a break. So I was sitting, I remember it really well, I was sitting in the living room with a cup of about half full ice water because I was really tired and I was watching Family Guy. And my mom came in and her face was really red and she was crying and she was saying, "Oh my God," and I went up to her and I was like, "What's wrong?" She said, "I ran over a bunny." I said, "What?" And she said, "I ran over a bunny." So we were walking out there. Our garage faces away from the hill, so it takes about 20 seconds to get from the garage to the back hill. And in those 20 seconds, she told me what had happened was she was mowing, and the grass must have been about 2 feet tall. Yeah, probably about 2 feet tall, so, some pretty thick grass. And she told me what happened was a bunny scurried out, and she stopped and shoot him, and then he went back in the grass. And then she started to push again, and then he darted out, and I'm sorry. He got underneath the lawnmower, and she said that she really hurt him. So, I went out there because, I was man of the household. My dad had been out of the house for about half a year now, so I kind of took it upon myself to deal with this. So I went out there, and he was just, I remember it really well. I remember, he was, just sitting there. His nose was twitching, and he had his ears pressed down against the back of his head, and, he was just sitting there, sniffing, and wasn't moving at all. And, he didn't make a fuss or anything. So, I went and looked at him, and he really didn't look like he was hurt. And I picked him up, and his hind legs were gone. It was nothing but just a gory mess. It wasn't bleeding, it was just a lot of red and pink and flesh underneath the fur. And, as soon as I saw it, I kind of, just lit him back on the ground. And that day, the neighbor, he came out to help us with the lawn. So, of course, the first thing I knew was, we had to put him down, and You know, he wasn't much bigger than maybe your hands put together. He was a tiny little guy, and, you know, he was just sitting there in the grass. So, you know, I was thinking, you know, how am I gonna put this thing down? How am I gonna, you know, end it? And, you know, I thought a heavy boot, I thought a shovel, I thought a handgun, and, you know, before I really came to a conclusion about how I wanted to do it, the neighbor guy came over, and, you know, he saw what had happened, and, you know, he looked at the legs, and I got a second look at the legs, and it's just, I don't know which was worse, the first time I saw it or the second time I saw it, but, you know, he took another look, and I got another look. My mom was inside at this point, and, he asked me, do you guys have a shovel? And, I said, yeah, so I took him to the garage, and I handed him a shovel, you know, just a little spade, probably about 2.5 or 3 feet long, and, you know, we walked down there, and I was thinking, you know, this just isn't fair. He was, you know, just hanging out, not really doing anything, and he got hit by a lawnmower. Fucking killed a bunny so we could have short grass. And, you know, we ran around back, and he knelt down and gave the bunny a nice little pat and scratched him on the neck. And I did the same thing. And then he stood up, and I stood back and looked away, and I heard the shovel thud against the ground. And then it did it again. And then I looked over, and it was limp on the ground, not moving. So, you know, it was dead. You know, he picked it up with the shovel and took it down the hill and laid it down. We didn't bury it. We thought we should just let the circle of life, I don't know, take control at that point. You know, we had interfered enough. And, the next day, you know, I was really upset about it. I went over to Penguin's house, and I told her we had to put a bunny down, and I cried on her shoulder for about half an hour, and all these thoughts went through my head, like I could have saved it. I had first aid training. I could have tourniquet the legs, or I could have stitched them, or taken it to a veterinarian or something, and, you know, because it was our responsibility to take care of it because we caused it. And also, we could just have pretty looking grass, and only a week later it would be long again. And, you know, we ran it over so we could have nice grass for a week. And I think that's what made me the most upset, was we ended an innocent creature's life. So that our grass was only a couple inches long for a week. So that experience really changed my life, because I just realized that every living creature deserves the same respect, whether it's a human or a bunny or a dog or a spider or an ant or a cockroach. I remember a couple days afterwards, I went into my wallet and pulled out my hunting license, and I cut it up and burned it, and did the same thing to my fishing license. I decided I never wanted to be the force behind another creature's suffering and death. And if it's my power at all, I would help the creature live. So, that was the most one of the most traumatizing moments of my life. My name's elementface. See you later, broskies.